Hey guys, MichaelBtheGameGenie here, and we've got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about in today's video. First up, we've got a new Galaga 40th Anniversary Partycade coming out from Arcade1Up, and for the first time ever, every version of Galaga is on a single cabinet. On top of that, there's some really cool classic arcade games that you have never seen before on another product from Arcade1Up. On top of that, we have new details for the online features for the Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Lergacy Edition cabinet that should be coming out any day now. Find out what games you can in fact play online and how and who you can play with. And last but not least, we have to talk about the now released new PlayStation Plus. Let's talk about the tiers, the pricing, and if it's worth picking up. All this and more right after this. So that's right, guys, a lot of stuff to talk about today. This should be a really fun one. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into the channel, always supporting me. Guys, it really means a lot to me. On top of that, if this is your first time to the channel and you like what you see, do all that YouTube stuff, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that jazz. Anyways, guys, let's start with probably the most exciting news for my home arcade fans, and that is we have a new Partycade coming out. And honestly, for the first time since the Defender Partycade came out, a really cool, unique, and interesting Partycade. So I had quite a few people reach out to me yesterday and tell me about the Galaga 40th Anniversary Partycade now releasing from Arcade1Up. This thing absolutely looks beautiful. Of course, we've had Galaga Partycades before in the past, but this one has 10 games, and specifically what makes it so special, it has all 4 Galaga games. So we're talking about, we've got Galaga, Galaxian, Galaga 88, for you TurboGrafx 16 fans, they re-released it as Galaga 90, and then of course we've got Plus. So some of you are probably saying right now, well, it doesn't have every version of Galaga, it doesn't have Galaga 3. Galaga 3 and Plus are the exact same game. Apparently they just reskinned and changed Plus only slightly because people were confused by the naming convention. Instead of calling it Galaga 3, they called it Plus, so they decided to rename it Galaga 3. The question still remains that we're all asking, where the hell is Galaga 2? Anyways, there's some other really cool games on here. Of course, we've already seen King of Balloon. We've seen Xevious on a previous Partycade, I believe. I don't know if it was on another cabinet. Dragon Spirit definitely was on the Pac-Man Plug and Play. That's not the best thing, but here's where it gets exciting. Jeff Rainwater actually told me about this Rainwater Games, and I didn't believe him, but we're getting Bosconian on a home arcade release. It's not a 3/4 scale, it's a Partycade, but Bosconian is coming to the Galaga 40th Anniversary Partycade, so that's really exciting. And then there's some other games. I'm going to show my arcade inexperience, or this is something that just escapes me. I'm not familiar with either of these games, so I'm interested to see what they are. Motos and Grobda. Games I'm not familiar with at all, so they're also first for the Arcade1Up line. Motos and Grobda. If you know what they are, let me know in the comments. Maybe shoot me a link where I can get information on them. Anyways, Galaga Partycade. Hopefully this comes to Canada. Like I said, since the Defender Partycade, this is probably one of the most unique and interesting Partycades they released to date. I see shit like this, and I ask the question, why can't this be a 3/4 scale arcade? It is funny because we have this YouTuber chat talking about home arcades and other things like that. And when we posted this link for the Galaga Partycade and how it was this really cool Ultimate 80s arcade list, B. Kong actually wrote me back and he said, yeah, so there it is. The 80s games are relegated to the Partycades now. So yeah, it seems like if you want really cool 80s cabinets like Defender and Galaga like this, hopefully you're interested in the Partycade line, and hopefully eventually this bleeds over to 3/4 scale as well, because I think there definitely is interest in this. And again, let Arcade1Up know if you want more 80s games. I'm pushing it really hard because that's what I want. Anyways, more news on Arcade1Up. So we got a little bit of information on the new Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Lergacy Edition cabinet coming out from Arcade1Up. In fact, it should be here any day now. I know Patrick Walton had a shipping notification that his should be here on the 13th. That's come and gone, so any day now these could start showing up at people's homes. But before they do, we've got an update on the online features. There is no doubt that one of the biggest releases from Arcade1Up coming out in the near future that people are super excited about is in fact the Mortal Kombat Midway 30th Anniversary Legacy Edition cabinet. And one of the big selling points on this that's got people so excited is the online features. But to date, we don't have direct details on exactly what's going to be online and how you can play. That is, until now. So you guys may be familiar with the name Peter McNabb. If you watched my Centipede first look video from a couple days ago, Peter is the guy that got his Centipede Legacy Edition cabinet before anybody else in the world and was kind enough to share some footage of it so we could get a look at it and see how it worked out. But Peter has some more news on the Legacy front. Apparently for this line of Legacy Edition cabinets, Peter McNabb is the go-to guy for information and resources. So anyways, Peter reached out to Arcade1Up and put in a ticket to find out some information on the online features, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys today. So the ticket reads back, "Thank you for contacting Arcade1Up support. I could gather this information from the product team. Bubbles, no online play." That's not surprising. Defender, no online play. Again, not surprising. Gauntlet, 4-player online versus. I would imagine that's more, I don't know, cooperative. Can also do 2-on-2 matches. Joust, 2-player online co-op. Clax, 2-player online independent play. So that's taking turns back and forth. Mortal Kombat, 2-player online versus, which we expected. Mortal Kombat 2, 2-player online versus. Mortal Kombat 3, 2-player online versus. Paperboy, no online play. Should also be no on the cabinet. Rampage, 3-player co-op. That's exciting. Root Beer Tapper, no online play. Not surprising there. Tuber, 2-player online co-op. That's actually 2-player versus. I don't know why they would call it co-op. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, 2-player online versus. Wizard of War, 2-player online versus. So there it is, guys. For you guys wondering about how the online will work for the 14 games included on the Mortal Kombat 30th Midway Legacy Edition cabinet coming out from Arcade1Up. Thanks to Peter and his ingenuity of reaching out to Arcade1Up support and putting in a ticket, we now have the information prior to the cab's release. And last but not least, I really want to talk about this because a lot of people associate me as a home arcade channel. In fact, P-Dub's Arcade Loft calls me an Arcade1Up channel. But I told P-Dub's Arcade Loft I don't like being put in a box like that. I'm a gaming channel, focusing mainly on retro gaming, and lately it's been a lot of home arcade and Arcade1Up because that's what I've been really interested in, and it's taken up the majority of my interest and time. So that's what comes out when I talk on YouTube. However, at heart, I am a big retro gaming fan, and one thing that got me really excited, despite me already making a video about this and being one of the lowest performing videos I've ever made, is the fact that PlayStation Plus is coming out with a new tier system and basically coming out with a competitor or alternative to Game Pass that features an entire library of PlayStation's games, going back PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, that is finally here. They've launched a new PlayStation Plus. Let's see if it's any good. So the new PlayStation Plus has already launched. They've basically taken everything that PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus was, put it into one package, and came out with a couple tiers. I personally am very excited to check this out. There's a lot of PlayStation games I'd love to check out, but don't want to buy. There's a lot of stuff in the PlayStation 3 and 4 catalog I'm dying to check out. So guys, the new PlayStation Plus is here and launched a couple days back. I have been on the fence about whether or not I wanted to get it. I mean, I already have so many games. I have such a backlog. I already have Game Pass. I already have Nintendo Switch Online, so I already have subscriptions going. I've got a game catalog that's way too big to play, including all my physical games, my retro games, Steam library now. I mean, it's just so hard to find time for all this stuff. So the new PlayStation Plus, I sat there. I'm mostly excited for it because of the classic library. However, you can't get the Classic Library unless you do the top tier subscription. Let's talk about the tiers first. There's been a bunch of videos out here, so I won't go into this in too much detail. You're probably bored to death with this already, but you've got Premium, which is the one I would have to look at. That gives you access to the classic games, so your PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 libraries. I'm going to be honest with you, these are pretty paltry so far. There's not a lot of content in there other than Resident Evil, Director's Cut, the original PlayStation 1 game, being added for the launch. I mean, this stuff was all available through PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now already, so there's no new PlayStation 1 games yet added there. The games are good. You can download them to your console. They run at 60 hertz, the North American rate. They look good, so you get that option. Then you go over to Extra, which will give you access to your PlayStation 3 library. However, the PlayStation 3 library is streaming, so you're playing from the cloud. You can't download those games. So that's a weird choice. And most of the stuff from the PlayStation 3 era, I still physically have a giant over 100 game collection of PlayStation 3 games. So I don't know if I want to jump in on that. And then, of course, you have PlayStation Essential, which is just your monthly games, online multiplayer, exclusive discounts, exclusive content, cloud storage, share play, PlayStation Plus collection, game help, free shipping direct from PlayStation. So you get a little bit there. Let's go down and talk about the pricing, and this is where this gets a little wacky. We'll scroll down past all this stuff. So Premium, the one I'm looking at, this is the US amounts, I do believe. So you're looking at a 1 month subscription is $22. That's a lot of cheddar. 3 months is $60, and then the 12-month subscription, $139.99. Achi-machi. So in order for me to get the classic games, I'm looking at shelling out $140 per year is your best bang for your buck with the quantity discount. Now, I don't know if I want to do that. Of course, we've got Extra, which is a little bit cheaper, 12-month subscription for $114.99, but I am going to miss out on that PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 classic libraries. Then, of course, you've got the Essential, which is the entry level 1 month subscription, $12, which is what the premium should be, in my opinion. 12-month subscription, $70. Definitely a lot more digestible, but there's not a lot of value to this. I mean, for me, especially being the retro game enthusiast and wanting access to the library, I want to play premium, but I just don't know if there's enough content in the premium library. You go up and take a look at the games. Let's go to the classic catalogs. Let's see if this is going to bring it up. I want to look at, you can look at all the games. I will tell you, there's not a good way to look at this other than basically subscribing to it and joining, because if you just want to get a look, it shows you the whole catalog, and it's a nightmare to pick through unless I'm doing this wrong. So let's go to what's new on PlayStation Plus. New to the game catalog. So if you want to play the newer stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy, which is on Game Pass right now. Miles Morales came out at launch. Awesome game. Check that out. NBA 2K22. God of War, Returnal, and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's the big thing. A lot of the Ubisoft games, if you don't want to pick them up, which I don't understand why you wouldn't. I'll tell you a little secret about Ubisoft stuff. But the Ubisoft games, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla was awesome. I loved it. So if you haven't played it yet, this is a great way to play through it if you want to get into PlayStation Plus. However, the thing about Ubisoft games are they come out brand new, full price, and within 2 months are down to discount bins. So I always kick myself. I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla brand new. 2 months later, $39.99 Canadian, and I'm like, why'd I buy it? But you can always count on the Ubisoft games to go down in price really, really super quick. But anyways, if you go down, take a look at the classic catalog, if it'll ever let me get to it. So you get a chance to play Demon Souls from the PlayStation 3. Of course, that's streaming. Tekken 2. Then you got some more streaming with Infamous 2, BioShock, Borderlands, Jax 3. I will say right now, the classic catalog is super, super paltry. There's just not a lot of beef on that bone. Not enough for me to justify picking this up right now. I think I'm going to hold off, and I don't know. If you're really interested in getting a bunch of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games that you want to play, and then you're okay with playing just a couple PlayStation 1 games now, maybe it's good for you, but just don't see a lot of value in this service right now, especially if you already have Game Pass and Nintendo Switch Online. I think this is coming in third, and hopefully they beef up those catalogs very, very soon. Anyways, guys, that's PlayStation Plus. Thank you for indulging me in that. I'm a big retro gaming guy, and I'm very interested in this, but from my retro gaming interest, there just doesn't seem to be enough added value with the PlayStation Plus Premium in order for me to pick this up right now. Considering all the other subscription classic catalog of game I have, it's not for me. Maybe it is for you. You guys don't have access to some of these games in other ways, and you just want an opportunity to play them. I think it's cool, but I really think they need to beef up these libraries before I'm going to jump head first in. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the PlayStation Plus. Did anybody pick it up? If so, do you think it's good? Do the PlayStation 3 games play better than I think they do through cloud services? Let me know in the comments. Also, for my home arcade fans, if you stuck through all that, thank you again for indulging me. What do you think of the new Galaga Partycade? Isn't that a really super cool lineup? And wouldn't it be nice to see a new Galaga 3/4 scale Arcade1Up with a similar lineup? Just like I want to see with the Defender 3/4 scale Partycade, I'd love to see a Defender Partycade. I'd love to see a 3/4 scale Defender cabinet with a similar lineup and the correct controls. So that is really cool about that. And last but not least, we've got new updates to the online play for the Mortal Kombat 30th Midway Legacy Edition cabinet. Now we have hard facts on what games are online, how you can play, and who you can play with. That's really cool. So guys, let me know about that. All your thoughts on that in the comments. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.